I grew up in a print family. My father owned a modern offset printing press. One of my earliest memories was just roaming around the presses and being fascinated by the sound and smell of ink and paper. That's just etched in my mind. And when I took over the business in 2013, I decided to revive that obsolete section which was in the back, and it was a lineup of Heidelbergs. And then the moment I made the first print that was pressed in and clean, I knew that that's where all the magic is, and that's what I want to be doing. When you hear the sounds that are being made by that press and see the mechanisms and motions that are happening, and the fact that this technology was made in 1950 and how advanced it was for that era is mind-blowing. I grew up in Beirut, Lebanon, but I was born in Cleveland, and I would visit family here often on holidays. But in 2019, I decided that it's time to move here and start my own business, and that's exactly what happened. I rented out a space and bought a couple of presses and a paper cutter, and slowly started restoring back the machines into their full functionality. One of the most challenging things is getting the press back to the shape that it was originally made. These machine parts were not easily accessible. I scavenged the internet, found a couple of parts. I got parts from other presses and restored it back to its original functionality. Traditional letterpress back in the 50s, it was almost frowned upon when the print was punched in. They relied on metal type that was made from lead, tin, and antimony, which was a softer metal. So pressing in those letters deformed them. The paper that was used was also thinner, so it would show through on the other side. So it wasn't a style back then. It was merely used for printing. They call it kiss printing. Around the 90s and 2000s, there was a revival of letterpress. There were machines that etched plates, whether be it photopolymer plastic plates or magnesium, copper, brass. It helped abuse the plate because it was replaceable. There were more options of thicker paper that you can kind of punch in without getting much show through on the back. And that's where all the magic happened. And that was kind of how letterpress became cool again. The moment you give someone a card that is letterpressed, I can almost guarantee you the first thing they're gonna do is either tilt it towards the light or brush their finger on it. And to me, that's more engagement than any print medium. Every project starts with an idea. It really depends on the client and what they want the person receiving the print to feel. For instance, with the coffee bags for Birdtown, we had to make a prototype of the sizes of the bag of each side so it can be snug. The file became a plate. That plate got printed on paper that's perfectly sized. It then got creased and then folded onto itself and glued at the back. A big part of the 961 collective is collaborations. So I'm hoping to work on more collaborations across borders, locally or internationally.